On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, Fisherman senior editor Fred Golofaro has a surf report for us. I have some insights on a different way to target porgies as well, plus anglers like you reporting in from around the island with the early May action, all here at thenewfisherman.com.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
It's the first week of May, and typically this is the time of year when fishing breaks wide open, and yes, it's right on cue, happening right now. News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Olm was out for the opening day of Fluke and had over a dozen shorts, but he did manage one 19-inch keeper. He used bucktails and white 4-inch gulp grubs. He didn't have time to file his report this week, but he did let me know that Saturday has a chance of showers, and Sunday looks breezy with winds from the west-northwest, but should be fishable on both days. Remember, be sure to check out News 12 for the latest weather before you head out on the water. Now let's check in with Fisherman senior editor Fred Golofaro, who has this week's party boat report.
Fluke season opened up on Tuesday, and I can also tell you that the porgy fishing's in full swing in Peconic Bay, that spring run of big porgies. We had Captain Dave on the Peconic Star. He reported porgy run in full swing. He said the fish was stacked up on Tuesday. He's fishing just 10 minutes from the dock. Keith on the Fin Chaser, they loaded up on big porgies on Tuesday. He also had a decent number of weak fish mixed in with the porgies, and he was talking easy boat limits on his porgy trips in Peconic Bay. As far as Fluke season goes, Captain John on the Shinnecock Star, he fished opening day for Fluke in Shinnecock and Peconic Bays and had a nice mix of shorts and keepers. Tuesday was all-day Fluke, but from this point on, he's doing mixed trips, porgies and Fluke in those areas. And Captain Joe on the Laura Lee called it a good opening day for Fluke in Great South Bay. They put away some quality keepers with a mix of shorts also. So porgy and Fluke fishing's off and running. Plenty of opportunities. There'll be more and more boats now getting involved, party and charter boats, so it should be easy to get out there.
The Dreamboat contest is underway. Fish hard, gather up points, and you can be the owner of a new 25-foot center console Steiger craft. All it takes is a subscription to the Fisherman magazine and you're entered. Click on the card in the top right for all the details. Big news this past week, the porgies hit the grounds hard and many boats have been cashing in on this type of fun fishing. I myself love the fight a porgy puts up. After many years of catching them with a standard porgy rig, I figured there must be a better way. What I came up with is a porgy jig. It's very similar to a blackfish jig, but has a small hook instead of a large one intended for tog. Any jig head with a small hook will work good too. Fish the jig along the bottom the same way you fish a tog jig, or just use porgy baits instead. Clam or sandworms are a great choice. One of the keys to successfully using one of these is to scale down your tackle. My choice for jig fishing is a 7-foot light action rod that can fish half to 1 ounce. Using lighter braid is also a major factor. Try to stick to 10 or 15 pound. Give this method a go. I guarantee you'll have lots of fun with it. Fred will fill us in with the surf report. Fred?
As far as the surf goes, bluefish are in, and they've spread the whole length of the island, although I have not gotten any bluefish reports up on the North Shore at this point. But out in Montauk, Paulie said they showed up on the weekend, mixed sizes, big and small. They had them down near the inlet, they had them on the open beach, on the sand beach. But the better fishing was in Fort Pond Bay on the inside. And he also added there's been some good schoolie action at Ditch Plains. That continues. Ken over at Tight Lines, Bait and Tackle in Sag Harbor, said Accabonac Harbor has been alive with blues. There's also a run of fish around the Sag Harbor Bridge inside the harbor there, 6 to 8 pound fish, and some bass to slot size in South Ferry. Also, it's the shoreline east and west of the ferry slip. Savio Mizzi, he hit Gerard Drive. He's been doing a number on big blues on top waters there. Gerard Drive is up near Accabonac Harbor. And Mike Larson, who guides out of Montauk, he put Jamie Acquista onto some nice bluefish, fish in that same area. So again, The east end all of a sudden is alive with blues, a good sign. Bluefish have been a little bit erratic the last few years, but the spring run so far is looking good. Working our way back to the west a little bit. Tony Durso of Surf Zone Lures continues to do good on bass and blues, throwing his top waters along the Moriches Bay shoreline. Justin Gern's Rostron had lots of school bass, blues, and a really nice fluke fishing the backside of Smith Point. A lot of the action has been in the bays or on the bay sides of the South Shore, and on the east end for that matter too. Down towards Fire Island, I heard of blues out on the demo bar. Also some at the Robert Moses Bridge. I know I fished the Fire Island area a few days this past week and didn't come up with much. In fact, I was surprised at the total lack of bait. Small bait and bunker, didn't really see any life. No birds working, anything like that, but some guys I know did have fish out on the tip of the demo bar. And there are bass in the bay. I did have bass. Matt and I teamed up in Drea, and we plugged bass on the mainland side of the bay, in the East Bay. So there are bass inside the bay. State Channel also, some good numbers of bass inside the State Channel. Down near Jones, same deal. The inside seems better. The back bay around the bridges, the backside of Jones Beach. And they also had fish up in the inlet area. They had bluefish up there this week. Joey Bonacore, heard from him. He's fishing that Smithtown Bay shoreline and catching schoolies up there. Again, no bluefish that I've heard of up on the North Shore. And before we split, just a couple of notes, surf notes. They are checking at demo. They had someone checking permits when you come off the bridge before you head west towards the demo entrance, and somebody at the demo entrance checking for all equipment. So make sure you have everything you need in your buggy, or you're going to be turned away. The demo bar is open halfway out, which is nice. We didn't have that last year. Do not go beyond the signs, or we'll end up losing that access. And quick note on the Montauk and South Shore Classics. This year's dates are set. We're going to run both tournaments. Montauk is September 24 to 26, and the South Shore is October 29 to the 31st. Matt, back to you.
Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim?
Thank you, Matt. Well, everybody, Tuesday was the day a lot of us were patiently waiting for. Fluke season opened up. Out here in Montauk, we had a couple guys get out there and give it a go. I know the Miss Montauk got out there. They had a report of a couple fish. Nothing great. Did catch some keepers, which was a good sign. Last year was a little bit slower. Chris Albronda, he got out there. He had a lot of shorts, but he also still had a couple keepers. So that's a good sign for the first day of Fluke season. Weather's going to be looking good for Saturday. Sunday's Mother's Day, so you're going to have to pick and choose what's more important. I've been out bass fishing in the bays. We're starting to see some bluefish, some bass, a lot of nice little fish. I was up fishing West Hampton in a location I said I would keep secret. And my friend Charlie Beck, he took me out there. We did pretty good catching some nice small-sized schoolies. Great fish for the kids. Perfect way to get them out there. They can go from the shore and catch some good stuff. Speaking of which, I've been using this. This is the Hoagie Slowtail. This kind of came out last year, and they're really promoting this year. This thing works really good. They recommend you fish it really slow. It's got incredible action in the tail, and it gets a lot of good fish. I've been fishing it with like a real steady and a twitch. I've also been fishing it slow, and it comes in a lot of good color combinations, so check it out. Other than that, everybody get out this weekend. Get all your stuff ready. Fishing's going to really open up here soon. Hopefully, on May 19th, everything's going to relax a little bit. A lot of the party boats are going to be able to take more people. A lot of other places are going to hopefully let you get out there and enjoy it. So everybody look forward to that. Thanks again, Matt, and we'll talk to you soon.
With our fly and freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, here I am. I'm up in Westchester. I'm with the Lawyer Fly Rodders. They had an annual trip. They're going up and fishing the Westchester tribs. They're beautiful and a short drive from Long Island. Fish, there are a lot of fish here. Guys have been catching them, mostly on nymphs, but it's early in the day. I'm hoping for a little sunlight, maybe get some dry fly action. But anyway, on Long Island, the ponds are just coming alive with the bluegills. Bass season is closed, pickerel season's open. So you got a lot of options there. And there's crappies, there's perch, there's a lot of things. The parks, all three parks are saying they're fishing well. Guys I know, the Practic Healing Waters, a bunch of those guys, they went out fishing on Monday. Jimmy P caught his first trout, so it's has been pretty good. Salt water, I've been getting out. I said, that's it. I'm going out right before work. I actually catch fish. I've been hooking. Landing are two different things, but I usually put it about 40 minutes into each before work, and using the gurgler, I've been catching fish. So there are fish out there. Get out there while you can. Don't sit on the couches. This season is just starting, and it's going to be a great season. So until next week, tight lines, Matt.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean. Mike.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Fishing just continues to get stronger here in between Shinnecock and Moriches. That weak fish bite from last week that Fred reported on, and Matt, there were some really nice fish in Shinnecock Canal. Buddy Saltzman had a really nice unicorn, as everyone's calling them. So congratulations on that catch. I tried. I didn't have much luck. I did see a few bluefish come up in the canal. That was Friday and Saturday last week, and believe that kind of pushed the weak fish out of there and into Peconics. But those gator blues showed up this weekend, and it's been a lot of fun. Some really solid catches. I got pretty decent one on Saturday after my frustrations at the canal, not getting a weak fish, and just continue to hear of more catches. See the post. Seems to be a little bit more of a swimming plug bite, although I have heard of some surface bites on that. Surface bite for stripers in the bay has seemed to pick up. The end of incoming seems to be a little bit better, but it's not very deep water, so even 8 feet of water, the fish will see the popper and hopefully go after it. All that bunker that was around is kind of scattered now, obviously, with all the bluefish, so find the bait, find the fish. Fluke season off to a little bit of a slow start, mostly, wind against tide conditions on opening day, but a few keepers here and there, and that's only going to get better. So I'm going to be out there focusing mostly on the bays. Took a run on a buddy's boat yesterday around Moriches, out through the inlet into the ocean a little bit. Didn't see much going on in the ocean in terms of bunker pods. The inlet was kind of quiet. The bays got a few blowups on spooks and poppers at sunset. So it's that time of year. Get out there, catch them up. Don't forget, Friday, June 4th, Manhattan Cup at Liberty Landing in Jersey City. Reach out to me on social media. Leave a comment here. I'll get you all you need about registration, any details on the day. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Matt.
From Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
What a great night. I got to tell you, today is fantastic. The fishing, it's just been so good. Hanging out here on one of the local docks after work, keeping it fun, Been out there in the evening, and the waders as well. Boat action's fantastic. We're looking at porgies are in, but everything right now, it's really about the striped bass. We're all chasing striped bass. Be a whole lot of fun to catch one on the report, but I don't think that, who knows? But I got to tell you, now's the time to get out. It's dynamite fishing. Get this weather while we can in these windows of low winds. The winds have been terrible, and this rain, we're starting to see planktons coming into the water. That means we're getting us a lot of bait. We're seeing a lot of spearing. I swear, we even thought we saw some mullet earlier today. It's a lot of stuff going on. We do have a squid run happening, so that's dynamite action as well. Listen, until I see you next week, I bid you all peace and tight lines.
Kirk Fay of the Eastern Great South Bay has this report on the bluefish arrival.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everybody. As you've already probably heard, the Bluefish have arrived. I wrote an article for the April issue of the Fisherman magazine that talked about, the lure that I use, the setup that I use, and I just really wanted to show it to you real quick in case you didn't understand it. Cordell cotton, simple enough. It's a pencil popper. I remove all treble hooks. A few years ago, I had one in my hand. Don't want another one in my hand. I don't keep bluefish, so that's okay if I lose some fish. It's fine with me. And this is basically it. Very aerodynamic, very light. You could hear the rattle and it draws a lot of attention, but this is really what you need to focus on here. This is 200-pound test, just directly crimped to the lure. So I'm not changing out lures. This is what works. This is what I'm going to use, okay? What happens is the bluefish hits from the back, and a lot of times this will stick out. The whole lure will stick out of his mouth, and you'll have another bluefish come and try to bite it. And when he meets 200-pound test, you know what? The 200-pound test is going to win. So this is why I use this lure over and over. I don't want to sit there all day long losing gear to bluefish. And this is just real quick. This is what the other end looks like. Simple barrel swivel. Once again, to the crimp. So if you want something that's going to be sturdy and hold up for a long time and you could dedicate a rod, that's really just for bluefish. Check it out. It was in the April issue of Fisherman magazine. Back to you, Matt. Thanks.
From the Fire Island in Great South Bay area, let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island Fishing Report. We got the first reports of weak fish caught in the state channel. I haven't heard of anything from east in the bay yet, but I expect that to happen any day. The weather looks pretty good for this weekend. There's still cod out on the local wrecks and a lot of striped bass in the western part of the bay. Anywhere from the double span bridge, the Captree Bridge in the bay, to Massapequa. Up in all of the larger creeks, there's striped bass, and sometimes they're found out in the bay with terns diving on them. So there's quite a few of them around with a couple of keepers in between. So it looks like a decent weekend, Matt. Fishing should be good, and it's just going to get better every day now. Take care. Have a great week.
Raul Ortiz, the urban angler, was up on the Hudson River with his son Jace and friend Arnold. They soaked worms near the Tappan Zee Bridge and had non-stop action during the incoming tide. Every fish was over 20 inches, and the bite lasted for 3 hours with some slots in the mix. Let's check in with Chris Ludwig. Chris?
Hey, thanks, Matt. What's going on, guys? So I'm going to be covering the last 2 weeks here. We had a really good striped bass bite that's still continuing and only getting better. These fish took a full spectrum of plugs like the SP minnows, the mag darters, Kitech paddle tails, the rainfish, chugging spooks, regular spook, pencil poppers, everything. Aggressive fish are always fun. They still seem to be pretty loaded to the west. We're getting them in our local eastern waters now, but going west seems to be the game. We caught them a bunch of times on dead low, through the slack, onto the incoming tide. More so than the top of the incoming into the outgoing, at least in my experience fishing when I do. So the fishing's been red hot. It's only going to get better. I hope to see you guys out there, and take care.
If you would like to be a part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyper-local reporting for around the New York Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact my producer at libayrat@gmail.com. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat contest and Coastal Kayak Clash. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index for our specific reports. Please support our correspondents by visiting their social media and website pages. See you right here next week at the allnewfisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.